So if you could tell me what your project title was.
Our project was called Frederick Adams, and it was about two detectives and a murderer with a dual storyline, one following the detectives on their struggle to find out who the murderer was after seeing all the cases, and the murderer on his quest to avenge the loss of his wife through means in which of killing people.
Okay then, what were the strengths and weaknesses of your project?
Ellie, you want to take this one?
The strengths of our project was we got some good actors. For example, the character that played Maguire, we found he was a very good actor because he looked like a detective. For example, when he wore the leather trench coat, he looked quite good in it, and he looked more of a really good detective style. And then we also had Andrew, his actor was really good as well. The way he comes in and he was acting really, laid back, not too bothered about it.
Exactly what I wanted from the character of Andrews, Detective Andrews.
Yeah.
Will, you got anything you want to say about the positives?
The weaknesses was pretty much touched upon,
really, wasn't it? Yeah. I like the framing and the sound design. The ambient tracks that we used were really good to create a believable atmosphere in the shots, and also the framing of the shots were done quite well in the rule of thirds. If we'd used a HD camera, then the shots would have been perfect.
Excellent. What about the weaknesses then?
The weaknesses are kind of locations.
We had a lot of trouble with the sets we needed to find, and also with some of the actors, like the extras that we used, weren't the ones we initially had chosen, and we just had to make do with on the day because we didn't have time to find new actors or find new sets, and we got messed about a lot on the set with people.
There's also a downside that we had to use classrooms because it would have been great if you could actually have shot it in an actual house and also in an apartment block. So that's what I think that would have made the movie quite better, to be honest. But it was good enough anyway. What
about your planning? Would you say your planning was good?
What was I going to say?
What about the planning?
We had a little. I don't think we really paid much attention to the continuity somehow.
Yeah, some of the shots, like you could see Declan's hand in the background.
Yeah,
and there was the script was in the background, then it was moving.
I don't think some of the shots. I don't think they really synced up very well. There were little bits where they jumped and stuff.
They did well in the end, though. The planning, I would say, the planning was done quite well. We had separate folders for each thing, such as we had one folder for all the pre-production, we had one for all the planning and the production when it was going on, like all the editing, and then we had the post-production folder, which was all the final script, the location reconnaissance and all that. In the first one with the film pitch, that was all done very well to a good standard. We had the correct target audience, we had a good 25 words or less for the film pitch, and I liked the planning folders in which they were. It was very organised.
Excellent. How do you think the finished product looked then?
I like the product. We could blatantly see there was a flashback. It was in the film pitch. I said the Bone Collector and Seven were kind of combined in this, in the way that the murderer had a storyline like in the Bone Collector. However, it was like Seven in the way the detectives were kind of like, they were opposites, but they did well together because they noticed different things because they were so different, and they could kind of combine that to work the final thing.
Also found the props that we used were very good, and I thought that made the film look more realistic. For example,
the forensic suits.
Yeah, the forensic suits, the detective leather jacket, trench coat. We also had
the picture frame as well.
The picture frame that we made, that was quite good. We had to go to art department and get some props, but it all worked out in the end.
The picture in the frame was photoshopped.
We did that as well.
So if you could do this production again, what would you do differently?
We'd spend more time looking on locations and actors to get that all perfect before starting filming, and we'd also
find our props as well. For example, with the crime scene where I'm checking out the body, it would have been better if we had like a crime scene doing an entertainment. For example, that would make it more realistic. So I reckon that would make.
What about technically? Would you use different equipment, or?
I'd use a HD camera to get better shots, and I'd also render it into widescreen when I'm editing, because then I could get a wider shot and we wouldn't have so much just like letterbox style filming. Also, I'd use better editing equipment, such as the new CS5 by Adobe, or maybe Final Cut with Max, because the one we used was outdated and it didn't look as good as it possibly could.
Some more ambience tracks as well. Some of the background.
Yeah, we could get more Foley ambience tracks instead of taking them off like archived ones.
Also, I think we should get the actors to put a bit more effort in. For example, when they're all sitting down in the chairs all tied up, they're just basically sitting there. They should have put more dramatic,
It's about to be killed, they should have been like crying or something.
Yeah, they should have been like a traumatised kind of, they should look scared and should have been like crying a bit. or like trying to get out of the chair. For
I'd also like to talk about what we all did individually. If we want to start with Will, what did you do for the product?
What do you mean?
Like, what did you do?
You made the title
specifically.
sequence.
You.
I drew. I made the title sequence.
Yeah, it's very
Which had quite positive feedback.
Looked very
You also did the
professional.
storyboards and the planning
Yeah,
stages.
Oh yeah, that too.
Storyboards are fantastic that Will did.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thanks, bro.
Elliot, what did you do?
What I did was location reconnaissance. I went around with Mike and we walked around Tottenham filming different hotels. We also filmed the original location we were going to use. We filmed the outside and the inside of it. What else did we do?
We went and got loads of props.
Yeah, we got lots of the
Pretty
props
much.
as well. We went all around different departments around college to get photo frames, forensic suits, all of that.
You also created that sound for the title sequence.
Yeah, also
It wasn't used, but he did do a lot of work on
me and
that.
Will went off and we made some sound effects. For example, we made a sound effect of Will
Crying, right?
crying. We also went off and got some other people to make some sound effects. What was that other sound effect you made with the voice?
I had to say the killer, Frederick Adams. Line.
Yeah, he
Yeah.
did the voice of Frederick Adams because
Saying
Stuart,
actual-
the actual actor, didn't want to speak. It worked out quite well.
We also
I found the music
He found the music for the title sequence,
and just got props, and that was.
yeah, he got a lot of
legit.
props as well. And I micromanaged the team and helped with props and some sound designs, and I also helped with the second location reconnaissance after the first one kind of went down with another house, but that went down as well. And also everyone in our group all made their own individual edits, and at the end we voted on which one would be best to show to the class and to send to the examiners.
it's pretty much all five of us who went around looking for actors as well.
Yeah.